Alrighty, boys and girls, time for the Chapter 10 mid-chapter test review. So, just like normal, pause the video, try and solve these questions. When you're ready, press play and we'll go over the answer. Okay, so 8 out of 10 students are farting in class, and we want to write this as a decimal, fraction, and a percent. So, as a fraction, we've got 8 out of 10, and we can reduce this. Both these numbers are even. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times, so 4/5. Now, if we divide either of these, we get the decimal, 8 divided by 10 or 4 divided by 5. Either way, that's going to be 0.8. And to turn this into a percent, all we do is multiply this by 100 or move the decimal 2 spaces, and that's going to give us 80%. Now, out of 340 students, how many are probably fart in class? There's 2 ways to actually solve this problem. The first way to do this is, in my opinion, the easier way, to do the percent of a number. So we're going to take that percent, 80%, and we're going to find out 80% of 340. Well, 80% as a decimal, that's why I have you do it in the question above, is 0.8, and we multiply that by 340, and that gives us an answer of 272. I told you there were 2 ways to do this. The other way is using cross products. So we can use either of these fractions. I'll use the reduced one, 4 over 5, although if you used 8 over 10, you'd still get the right answer. So 4 over 5 is going to equal how many out of 340? So now we use our cross products, and we've got 4 times 340 equaling 5x. 4 times 340 is 1,360, so now we have 1,360 equals 5x. To get rid of that coefficient, to get rid of the 5, I divide by it on both sides, just like we learned a couple chapters ago. These cancel, leaving the x. And on this side, 1,360 divided by 5 is 272. Okay, so now, JJ won 12 of the last 15 games he played. What's the probability he'll win the next game he plays? And if he plays 50 more games, how many should he win? Press play when you're ready. Okay, so if he won 12 out of 15 games, all you do is, to get this probability, reduce the fraction. This would reduce, 3 goes into both. So we've got 3 into 12, goes in there 4 times. 3 into 5 goes in there 5 times. 4/5, which would be 0.8, or 80%. Now, if he plays 50 more games, how many should he win? Well, he's going to win 80% of the time. So all we have to do is find 80% of 50. So, 80% of 50, 80% is a decimal, 0.8. Multiply this by 50, and when we do that, we end up with an answer of 40. Another way to do it, 80% would be either 80 over 100, 12 over 15, or 4 over 5. I'll use the reduced fraction, 4 over 5. And that's going to equal how many out of 50? Well, 4 times 50 is going to equal 5x. 4 times 50 is 200. 200 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. And 200 divided by 5 is 40. Doing this both ways is a good way to check your work. I strongly recommend it on the test, especially because the test will be short, so you'll have enough time to do it like this. Okay, so now I've got some scenarios, and I want to know what kind of sample is this specifically, and are the results valid? So pulling names from a hat, checking every 50th car made, posting a survey online, and looking at the results. And if your friends all like chocolate, you think everybody in your grade or school or state or whatever does. Okay, when you pull names from a hat, this is going to be simple, random. And yes, this is valid. If you check every 50th car made, this is going to be systematic, random. And yes, it is valid. If you post a survey online and just wait for people to post it, or wait for people to post answers, this is voluntary response, and voluntary response, we do not consider these results to be valid. Next one, your friends like chocolate, so you think everybody else does. This is a convenience sample. If you only ask your friends and you don't actually ask a good representative of the population, either simple random or systematic random, then this is convenience, and convenience is not valid. And boys and girls, I'm realizing here I did not write not. So this is not valid, this is not valid. Voluntary and convenience, these are the bad ones. Simple random and systematic, these are the good ones. You need to know this. All 4 of them will be on the test. Okay, next, go ahead and try and find the mean, median, and mode of this set of data. Okay, for the first one, for the mean, you've got to add all of these numbers up. When you add them up, you end up getting 70. You have 5 numbers here, so you're going to divide by how many numbers you have, and 70 divided by 5 is going to equal 14. So the mean is 14. Median. Median is the number in the middle when you put them all in order from greatest to least. I already did that for you to save time, so we're going to cross off from each end till we get to the middle, and the number in the middle is 15. Now if you had 2 numbers in the middle, you would take the average of those 2 numbers, which means add them up, divide by 2. Mode is the number that happens most often, and I have 3 15s, so the mode is also 15. I also want you to keep in mind that sometimes there is no mode. For example, if I have the numbers 3, 4, 12, and 5. Here there's no numbers that repeat, so if I ask you what's the mode for this, the answer would be there's no mode. Okay, for this next set, suppose somebody was trying to hold their breath to see how long they can hold it, and they tried 5 different times. Well, figure out the mean, median, and mode, and then which one of these would show off how long they can hold their breath the best. Okay, well, when we look at these, if I add all these numbers together, see, I've got 20, 30, 30, 25, and 5. That's going to give me 110. Since there's 5 numbers, I'm going to divide by 5, and that's going to give me 22. So the mean's 22 seconds. The median, well, if I put them in order, I've got 5, 20, 25, 30, and 30. And let's see, cross them out from the ends till I get to the middle. The median is 25 seconds. So the median already is showing a few more seconds than the mean. What about the mode? I've got 30 twice here, so the mode's 30. So in this case, the mode would be the best way to show off how long the person can hold their breath, because it's the highest number. Alright, boys and girls, if you have all that, you should be in good shape for the test. Study hard, hopefully it'll be pretty easy for you, and I'll see you in class.